So I'm Sean. Hello to everybody there. And we have another. We can wait a moment for the audio to connect and then we begin. Hello. So I'm Sean and I work as the program director for Swiss Mode here with Natalia. And welcome to this question and answer session for Swiss Mode. And what do we want to begin with? Natasha, maybe you have an idea. You want to just direct me and get us going?
Yes, Sean, thank you so much for this meeting for our students. I think the most of all, if you will just tell general words about the school and general words about our program and our plan for this year, because all of them, they are so interesting how we plan this year, because it's be something special, like special program for this year, which we adapted, and sure that you could explain everything perfectly for them.
I'll try my very best. Well, as everybody knows, it's a difficult year for everybody, and lots of changes in the way we live our lives and the way we choose to educate ourselves as well and get involved in our passions. So what's good here is that Swiss Mode is a school which is all about fashion and the passion for fashion. So the school is located in Montreux physically, but we have adjusted the programs this year as we move forward to take into account that some people will be physically present and some people may not be physically present, that we may have to deliver things online. So we've done an awful lot of work in developing and translating programs and updating programs so that they can be delivered online. And not only they can be delivered online, but that you can engage with the program to really study and really express your creativity and develop your passion in fashion itself. And the programs that we offer are some, I'm sure if you've all looked at the website, you can understand the programs that are on offer, but we have a BTEC, Fashion and Textiles Design, which starts going to start in October, Natasha. Is it correct? Yeah, okay. So we'll start in October. The structure of how we are going to deliver this year will be what we call blended learning. Okay? And blended learning is basically online with some physical development as well, meetings and assessment and maybe visit to Montreux to use the facility and to work on some special projects. The programs have been developed by us together. I have helped develop the programs for the coming year. And these programs are based on my own experience of working within the fashion education industry in Amsterdam, in London, my own design experience around the world in New York, in Tokyo, in Hong Kong, in India. I've lived and worked in lots of places around the world, and I bring to bear my own experience into creating the programs with Swiss Mode and in delivering the programs. So I think the program is structured in a series of units or modules, which always begin, let's say, with contextual studies, yeah, which is about the background to art and design and understanding the place of art and design in society and in fashion, particularly. And this is an extremely important underpinning to everything that you begin to study in our program. And it's something that you need to get to grips with in terms of how you develop in your creativity and how you then develop into fashion and fashion design. And Natasha, how do we want to do questions? Do you want people to ask questions as we talk?
Yes, of course, we could ask any question. So please be available, be free to ask if you have some question. You could also write in chat. For example, if you don't want to speak just physically, you could ask in the chat. Yes, because normally then the students, they listen. At the end, finally, probably we will not have a question. So
that's right.
next time we will explain everything.
well, we hope, and in my experience, it's sometimes better to ask the questions as you go along, because time runs out and we don't have time to answer anything. But I think if anybody has an important question, please fire away and ask. But as I was saying, the program is structured to begin with contextual studies, particularly, and moving on to study elements, for example, of computer-aided design and techniques and processes involved in fashion and textile development. What we've done this year as well in the programs, what is extremely important, as I say, we've moved some development to be much more digital. So there is now a concentration on, in the program, on how you develop within the digital environment, for example. And this includes your own CAD skills. It includes eventually pattern cutting and 3D modeling, 3D virtual modeling in a software called Clo. Probably this is the experience you will find of developing your creativity into clothes on 3D avatars within the computer. The program is structured in, I'm just going to look at something here because I need to remind myself, so do excuse me. Yeah, so we have digital elements of the program. We also have what we would call visual elements of the program, where we're looking at how you storytell with fashion, how you bring your whole collection together, how you tell your story in fashion, and how you present this as the creative ideas that you want to bring to fruition. The whole program is designed to begin to pull together your real passion in fashion and fashion design, okay? We experiment along the way with textile design and fabric design. I'm seeing some questions here, so I'm going to just check in with the questions and have a little about something here. So somebody would like to know a little bit more about the blended program. It could work well for you, I think, the blended program. So yes, this is Ismarie, yeah? So if you, you understand blended learning, so we have set times when you will have classes. There will be some recorded classes, which you can take at certain times that may be released, but also maybe some things you can take in your own time, that you can access in your own time. And they will be supported by other live events. So there are times when you will have to connect online with staff, with other students, and have a seminar or a class online. But then that's supported also by the work that you can do in your own time. So if you are working, if you're a working mother, or if you're looking after people, looking after children, or you need to do some of this in the evening, then there are some delivery that will happen like that, but then there are times when you will need to connect with other people. Yeah, Natasha, I think, did you?
Yes, totally. It's because we spoke before with Ismarie. I know her as well. Even then she was one baby mother. So it was last year. So congratulations, Ismarie. And it's true that a lot of girls, for example, now they have their family, they have a kids, but they still want to do something in fashion, and they're very creative. They have a lot of motivation. So that's why I think this type of course, it would be really nice for them, because they could connect, for example, at the evening, then the kids, they sleep already, and you could see the different session. You could text also to teachers to ask them about something, and you will have all given materials, all given file, all video lectures. And after that, it's up to you. We also will do exactly the deadline for all units, for example, later. It will be also very easy and very comfortable for a lot of students, I think, in this situation. Yes, if they could concentrate now, they could still complete the work some weeks or some months later. So it's not very strict. It just has to be finished at the end of the year. Yes, and actually, we have a really nice master class. Hope this year will give us to continue this tradition, and as we have this possibility to invite different personality, different fashion designer, different textile designer here in Montreux, and to do different tests, it would be really amazing to plan it. For the moment, we don't know exactly the date for this different masterclass. Of course, it depends on a lot of position, but we always post it in our Instagram. So, and all students will be informed about all masterclass.
The master classes that were delivered in the past 6 months or last year are really interesting, I think, as well. And you know, we managed to get some good names of people from the fashion world in throughout Europe and the United Kingdom, and they're very interesting and engaging classes. So
Yes.
it is something that's you know, additional to the normal programs and that are flexible. They sometime there'll be a masterclass planned. Something might happen tomorrow as well. You know, it could be somebody is available tomorrow to deliver a special masterclass, and we're able to arrange it, and it will happen, for example. There's a question about the fee structure for the degree program, I can see. And that somebody's asking if you can do the course if you're amateur in fashion designing. Well, the courses are certified courses, so your application, we assume always that you are an amateur, so you are new to coming to fashion education, and this is a beginning level education. So yes, you can apply if you're an amateur and you have dreams and passions in fashion. You apply in the process to Swiss Mode, and you should put together a portfolio to show your ideas, your work, what you think of fashion, who you like, what inspires you, or the art that inspires you, or travel that inspires you. Maybe not so much travel at the moment, but maybe travel through the
COVID will
computer.
inspire you.
It's really about that. So you need to put yourself, you need to bring yourself together to explain how you feel about your creativity, what you think of fashion, what you want to do with design, and where you want to go with it at the end of the day. So it's an application process. The fee structures are different for face-to-face, so that's fully physical all the time in Montreux, and for blended learning. And they are based also on a full program, but also they can be based on a semester approach, I believe. Natasha is correct?
Of course.
Good, okay. And someone here, what are conditions for admissions to the Bachelor? Well, as I'm just saying there, it's about putting a portfolio together. It's about having achieved a certain standard in your education to that point. If English is not your native language, or you have not studied in an English school, for example, in English, you will need to prove a proficiency in English, which is 5.5 on the TOEFL exam, I think. We can deal with more information about this in the future, but essentially that's the requirement for entry. Entry, of course, is always about applying with your portfolio. I can't stress how important the portfolio is in order to show your creativity and your passion, because if there are many people applying for a space on the program, then the spaces are not infinite, they are finite. There are only a certain number of people that can be taken on. So you have to compete with other people. So then it's about your application, your portfolio, etc. Yeah. Looking now, I do not need to travel to Montreux that much. I live in Basel. Montreux is 2 hours for me. Yeah, so this will be about the blended learning. The actual delivery of the program is still to be fully confirmed in terms of when you would need to be in Montreux and at what points. In the blended learning program at the moment, we are looking at having, let's say, an orientation week in the beginning when you would need to go to Montreux to attend and to meet your colleagues, who else you're studying with, to meet some of the staff, and to understand how it works as a physical environment. And then through the delivery of the unit, and most of the units are structured to be delivered in about a 4-week period for you to understand this. Depending on the unit, you will not necessarily need to go to Swiss mode until the assessment point. We may also group some assessment points to be a little bit later so they can be done together. When it comes to the practical elements, fashion is a practical subject and you have to make things and you have to experience things. We're also looking at how we work that out. What we really want to do is to balance the amount of time you would need to spend in Montreux or go to Montreux to be able to achieve what you need to be achieving in experimenting with your creativity and your fashion. So it isn't set in stone at the moment in terms of you must go this time, you must go this time. You will need to go for the orientation, you will need to go for assessment. But during the period of the delivery of the unit, there will probably be 1 or 2 points at which it would be good if you went, but maybe it's not completely necessary. So that we are going to structure and work out. Also, I think Natacha, if you agree with me, some of this can be structured depending on the group of students that we have in the end. You know, that if we have a group of students who all are working and doing something else, then we can try to structure the program so that it suits exactly how people are working, you know, in terms of when you have to come to Montreux. Yeah. Is there anything that you would want to add to that, Natacha?
No, it's totally fine that you explain. It's totally exactly like this. I think there are also some questions about the different models because it's also very interesting for some of students that they could also take a part.
You could take a part or some part of the modules. Well, we have structured modules that are. I mean, this depends on how you want to achieve your qualification in the end. So the qualification, at the end of the day, the qualification requires all of the modules and requires for you to progress through the modules and to pass the modules in order for you to receive the qualification in the certified programs. We have short courses, we have some other offers that are not this way. So it's possible for you to study elements of the program that we are running, but not necessarily the whole program leading towards the certification at the end. This needs to be discussed, I think, with the administration and to work out the program that is right for you and when you can do it and how you can study it exactly, okay? There was a question here. I can see can I have some of my previous modules to help in reducing the total number of units I need to take? So I did a 160-hour program in fashion design from Gade. Yeah. Do you know this? Is this from Swiss mode study or from another study? I don't know. Do you know, Natacha? The mute is on. Ah, from your school in Dubai. Okay, I can see. No, I think you would need to study everything at Swiss mode. I don't think this will give you an exemption from study. And I just want to add that, you know, if you are really into fashion and you're passionate about everything, then you really need to engage with everything, because everything is an opportunity for you to learn and to progress. And teaching is done in different ways in different places, you know, so the staff that are involved in teaching and delivering the programs at Swiss mode are highly experienced, high-level creative people. We've worked in many of the interesting good brands around the world, in the luxury industry, in the ready-to-wear industry. And it's very important when you study in a school, that fashion school, that you're also part of the aesthetic development of that school, you know. So every school has its own language, if you like, and that's the language of design from Swiss mode, and it's important that you really get to grips with everything in that language and you really understand it. So you really do need to be part of everything that goes on, I think. Yeah. Is having a portfolio mandatory? Yes, it is. So you must have a portfolio. You really need to understand how to begin to illustrate how you think about fashion and art and design. It doesn't have to be a fantastic portfolio at this point, but it really needs to show your personality and your engagement with fashion. So this is not a purely academic subject. It is a visual, creative, craft, design subject, and you really need to show how you think about these things. And how many pieces should be shown and things like that. Okay, so your portfolio really is, as I say, something to illustrate how you think about creativity. Yeah, what you think about art, what do you think about design, what do you think about life, what do you think about even politics, and what we call in creativity the zeitgeist. Yeah, the zeitgeist is the influence that is extorted onto what is happening in life. So currently, if anybody really asked at the moment, the most important aspect of the zeitgeist at the moment is the implication of COVID-19, really. So from a zeitgeist and creative point of view, we all think, what does this do to society? What is this going to do for us in the next 6 months, in the next year? And when we come out of it, how do we all feel about it? So if you're finding ways of creating this atmosphere within your work, within your portfolio, this is the kind of thing that we would expect and want to see. So a normal portfolio will include references to art, to design, to life drawing, if you've done it, to still life drawing, to fabric manipulation, or to papier-mâché, or to anything. Some things you may have done at school, it doesn't have to be high art. It's about how you express yourself. Photography, image manipulation, these kind of things are really important to show what you think about your area of and your passions within creativity. A portfolio should be broad enough for us to see who you are. So giving us, I would say, giving us 2 or 3 pages in a portfolio is not enough. You need more. You need to show more. If you go online and make a search for portfolios, even in Pinterest, for example, fashion portfolios, or foundation portfolios, let's say, for applying for an art degree or a design degree, you will see a lot of examples of the kind of things that people do, the kind of things that they submit. Sketchbooks, it could be a sketchbook even, maybe not just a portfolio. Maybe you have a really creative sketchbook where you collect things and you make illustrations, you make notes and observations, and maybe that could also pass as a portfolio depending on the content that's in it. Okay, I'm having a look here now. Can I have my exams or assessment overseas through an exam center? I think this is a difficult question. With the requirements of the examining body. That, however, is something that will be discussed, I think, as we move forward, because there may be, depending on how COVID develops, there may be an emergency rule that allows some examination to be taken in a different way. As this is a fashion subject, and we're talking about a point at which you make something, so you have to make something, we need to see how it's made, we need to understand it. There are ways of doing this, of course, with photography, with video, but I would say that's not determined at the moment. I would assume for all of the assessments not. For some of the assessments it could be possible, but this relies on a regulation from a regulation body. Okay. Pieces in the portfolio should be created by ourselves or shown.
Yes, maybe here I could help you a little bit, because I know that we have three different kind of students. Actually, we have one kind of students who want to receive finally their bachelor degree, the degree program. So of course for them the portfolio, it's important thing. It's very important, and it's better is the portfolio, better we have. They can imagine the personality of a student. And other part of students who want to do just the short courses or just some module, probably without portfolio and without registration in general BTech system for the moment. And already at first month they could see how it works. We could help them to complete this portfolio, and we have first a month or about 40 days to make the registration of the student who will do the short program to the general system. So that's mean for the students who can do just on the short courses at the beginning. It's not absolutely necessary to complete the portfolio, but then we are going to start the bachelor program. It would be necessary. It's also important probably to explain again that our program, like all general bachelor program, include different module, and all module we will finish, and after that we will start the next one, and we create our system like a chain. So when you finished one module, probably this year, if you have kids, if you have some family situation, some different things, you could complete only half of a program, for example 3 or 4 module, and next part of program you could complete next year.
Yes.
So I think it would be really nice if after that everyone who has a particular question, they will contact us, and we could see every situation particularly. I prefer to speak with every student. I prefer to do some video conference or to see portfolio, of course. So in this case, I hope I answered to this question.
I think you have, and I think one important thing to mention there as well. One of the key really nice parts about Swiss Mode is it's very personal. So as you can understand, so Natasha would
this particular method. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So you get to engage with the head of school to talk about the program, and maybe one kind of program is right for you, or doing it in another way is better for you, and this can be explored with Natasha and decided for yourself. In terms of yes, I always forget, because I always think in the degree mode myself. So
Yes.
I'm sorry, I forget these things. So I always assume everything is about the degree and the certifications, but of course, always, not always. I do remember as well that I think if you are studying in the degree mode, that sometimes you have maybe up to 5 years to complete your program if you do it in small parts. So it's possible to do that within the whole structure of the examining system. By the way, the system that operates at Swiss Mode is the UK-based system. And somebody has asked the question about, is it recognized in the EU, the UK?
The best system.
It's recognized everywhere. This is a credit-based system. It is validated and accredited. And if you were going with this degree to work in the EU, for example, after January, this is a little different because of Brexit. Excuse me, I'm British. I don't agree with Brexit, but hey, it's there. So after January, everything is equivalent, so it will be the same. So you have a degree in the UK, you have a degree in the EU, you have a degree in the US. These things are inter-recognized by each country because these are academic qualifications. So there is no question about that. It is recognized when you're doing the degree programs, okay? If you're doing the short courses, again, this is a discussion, I think, with Natasha. Maybe you're doing one module of something and then later you're going to do another one. As long as the timing is correct and the program for you is worked out correctly, eventually you gain the qualification and the certificate when you get everything together to create the whole program. Yeah.
Also, what I want to add, so when they speak about just some module, students may have to understand that if they want to receive this part of degree module, after that we will have a work to complete, and the work it has to be some level. So that is the difference just between the short course for the pleasure and for design, for the patient, and really degree program. If we spoke, for example, about me, of course, I advise to do not just for the pleasure, but of course to do already for degree. First of all, it's very interesting because you will receive the feedback of very professional teachers, and you will see another opinion to your work. And after that, step by step, you grow up your level. And as I see now, the level of our students when we started some year before, and now the level are fantastic, really fantastic. And even all UK checkup which we have from BTEC, they confirm that. So the level of our students, even after the first year, very, very high. And that's why we are focused to really the best result. We want that all students after that, they will receive a nice job, fantastic job, or probably they could create their own brand, their own mark, or the both. Now also a lot of students, they ask, first of all, they want to do the study for their own mark and their own personal brand. I find that it's very interesting, of course. And we also have some part of a model which would be about branding and identity, where we will speak, and we will have different teachers who will be invited in this model, and we will do all program, but it helps to grow up their brand too.
I think you're right, exactly. And in the program structure we have at the moment, we are ending a program with a module which is about creative entrepreneurship as well. We intend to deliver this, and that is really aimed at how you understand business in fashion and how you may enter your own brand, develop your own brand, and be an independent designer, for example. So the whole focus of the program and the development is aimed at developing your creativity, your passion within fashion, your place within the fashion industry as well. And maybe that's about you working in a company or you working for yourself. And all of this is possible in the development at Swiss Mode. Yeah. There's another question there based on price on this website. Somebody's asking that some lessons have to be on site. Just to clarify that, in the structure of blended learning, there will be some assessments will have to be on site. This has to be done in person. Occasionally some class may be, but the orientation you would need to, unless there's a special reason why you can't be, perhaps. But on the normal certified program, so degree and everything, there will be times when you will need to be physically present. It cannot be delivered completely online. Yeah. In the short courses or other smaller programs, it's possible this is online. Yeah.
And also, I think I could add also, if it was the question from somebody from, I don't know, India or some other countries, that's mean that particular for some exams, of course, we could also give the attestation for students visa. So it would be also possible. But of course, in the case of COVID, in the case of some particular situation, it would be also possible to complete full, for example, this year, like in distance particularly. And for example, next year we'll plan more sessions face to face.
Yeah.
And there are also some questions which could be interesting.
Yeah. Some more. I think we covered most things there. So, yeah. Yeah.
About the prior question.
How can I take the full course if I have an old experience in the field and at the same time I'm my own employee and sole sponsor? That this would, well, if you can study the course, so that's no problem. If you have prior experience, maybe you are an older student, for example, with plenty of experience, and maybe you're working. So from that perspective, in the online program, there is no problem at all. And in fact, as we said before, maybe you weren't there at the time we said it, that some modules will be delivered by pre-recording, so you can access some things online. You can do this in your own time, but other things will be scheduled where it is a seminar or a workshop or feedback or mentorship, for example, with a live tutor like myself, for example, and some other students who are in the class. But I think while we are timetabling everything and structuring everything, one of the beauties of Swiss Mode is I think we can see the group of students and the time that they may be available to do certain things, and combine this with the time that the staff member may be available in order to deliver it at the right kind of time for somebody like yourself. This is Victoria, I think. So this takes planning, it takes adjustment for everyone, but it could be that maybe a workshop is in the evening, for example. So I know from my own perspective as a tutor, I wouldn't have any problem in doing an evening session with people if that's what suits everybody and enables it to work for them. Yeah.
Yeah. And for Victoria, for example, I know, of course, Victoria, she's a very nice student and she has a fantastic experience in pattern making design. So this part she could do really perfectly. And of course, she could complete a lot of part of work, even themselves. So for her, blending is totally fine also. Before it was some question about a prior question, some lesson to have be on website.
I didn't see that one.
Yes, probably could you answer?
And I don't see it. So can you just tell me again?
Kitak, if I understand correctly, based on a prior question, some lesson have to be on site.
Oh, okay. On site.
Okay. About our fashion platform, we could also tell about this, I think.
Yeah. So there will be an online virtual learning environment, VLE, where all your work, all the brief and the connections to the lectures and everything will happen. So it's a portal online that you will log into, a secure portal, and have access to the program. Yeah. And I'm just looking. Are the face-to-face classes compulsory? Sorry, I may be able to travel once a year and to attend, but not more than once a year and not for more than 2 to 3 weeks a year. This depends on if you are in the certified degree programs or other program. So in the degree program, there will be times when you must have a face-to-face because the award is not possible to be given without some face-to-face. If you are able to travel once a year for a few weeks in total, it's possible that it could be worked out, but I think this needs a little bit of investigation. there are other things, you know, if COVID is in play for a long time, this kind of thing is possible. If it stops in the next few months, lots of other things change in regulations. So there is a flexibility in terms of being able to deliver things in a particular way and to assess in a particular way. But the flexibility can only go so far. And it's what's important to understand, I think, from the point of view of the degree program here, the BTEC programs, it is not completely possible to do it without face-to-face. There must be face-to-face at some point, okay? So it's really important to understand that. If you cannot do face-to-face, then I think a discussion with Natacha privately about how can I do a module, how can I do this module, how can I create the program so that I can visit Montreux for 2 weeks, once a year or at some point, and how can we do it? I think there is something that can be explored and discussed, but we can't do it here. This is something you would need to do, I think, privately as a question. Yeah? Okay, good. So another question is, I have no experience on drawing. Could it be an obstacle? Are you going to learn drawing and sewing with no experience at all? In fashion, you know, my own perspective, of course, I'm talking for the school, but I'll also talk to you in a different perspective. So it's not always necessary for you to have experience of drawing and sewing. Sometimes it's preferable that you have a little experience with drawing. The sewing you can always learn, usually in the fashion school. This will be taught. But it's always good if you do have experience. So if you know you're going to come to a school or you're going to start a program, just begin doing something now to get your own experience. There are a lot of tutorials on YouTube for some basic drawing or some basic sewing. You can buy a pattern online for a small, maybe a small outfit for a doll or something, and try to do it. Even if you cut and sew this by hand, you know, it's just about experimentation and understanding how you can make something. So that's a long answer to your question, but you will learn how to sew and cut. You will learn how to illustrate and how to draw and how to observe. But it's important that you understand whether you are able to do some of this at the beginning, because there are some people, I would say in my experience, there are some people who are fantastic drawers and illustrators and painters and everything, but there are equally some people who just cannot do it at all, you know, and the only way you find this out is by trying and doing it, you know, and take a little book, just make some notes, sketches, anything, you know, photographs as well, doing some photography with your phone, and then maybe sketching from the photograph that you've done on your phone. Just try to do it. So it's always good that you have experience in these areas, but you will be able to learn and explore in the school and under the program. Yeah.
In this case, I would also add that we have a pack of very interesting online program, online courses, where we prepare the basic course of fashion illustration, of fashion trends and fashion collection. Also, there are a part for Photoshop and Illustrator, which are very important for fashion students, of course. And we already told to all students who participate in our courses that all fees that they pay for short online courses will be included in their normal program. So that means that it would be not something which we will do and lose after that the fees. So it would be included inside their contract, which is really nice, because other university, they don't do like this, but we prefer to prepare our students a little bit before. And some of them, for example, I could advise to prepare some, to do some Sorry, I will do like this. Sorry. Just something very emotional.
Yeah.
Yes, so that means that you could include some part of your online courses in your normal courses, and it will help you to manage your course. For example, our fantastic fashion collection course, which I love a lot, is really great, and I think it's also like a must have for this year preparation, really.
Mm, mm. I think that's right. So if you take some time to have a look at the online courses, the short courses, you can find some very interesting direction and teaching, I think, there for you to experiment with. Somebody says here that they design and create and sew, but they don't have the education in fashion design, but they're highly passionate. They follow the instinct to try to follow their dream. Well, yes, you know, you don't. The point of the programs at Swiss Mode is it's a beginning. You know, this is where you can begin. You can begin to be part of the fashion design world and have your dream. Doesn't matter about your age. You know, if you are young or if you are older, it doesn't matter. With experience, without experience, the important thing is having the environment and the direction and the guidance to explore your dream and to develop yourself in the fashion world. So, you know, the programs here are aimed at doing that. Yeah.
Ismarie, again, she asked about, she doesn't have any experience of drawing, because no, I think with Ismarie, exactly, it's better to start just with a short block, and after that, when we see that it's fine, it works for her with her family, we will start the degree program, and I will really help her to do this part with her. It's my passion, like fashion illustration, so don't worry about this. And actually, probably some of students, they don't know it because it's our very strong point, fashion illustration in all direction, because we are very strong even with a handmade illustration, with a Photoshop, with the iPad Procreate version, with Illustrator, and now we start this year with a 3D design. We connect with pattern making. So really don't care about this. It has to be like a pleasure. It's really pleasure part of our work, fashion illustration. And we also have the step how you could grow up very quickly. For example, we already had experience with students who draw only with left hand, or who never had some experience before. But they start to do every step with us, and it works because we have a method which help us to explain it very easy. And if, for example, you couldn't do it, we have also the small designer's secret, which could help you to prepare a nice dossier, a perfect dossier without a lot of experience. This is our job.
Exactly. And I think that one important thing there, which I said before, I just say it again, that is a unique point of Swiss Mode, is that it is not a large university corporate structure. It is very personal, which means the programs can be adjusted to a certain extent so that everybody is able to do what they need to do within it. And you get the attention that you need, the personal attention from tutors and from Natacha, for example. If you go to a very big university or a big art school, you will never get this. So, you know, the classes are so huge, the time for a tutor is so little. It really isn't, it's a very difficult situation.
If, one of our teachers, he told, then he also studied in St. Martin's. He said that if teachers you told you hello today, it's already fine.
Yeah, that's it. You had some engagement with a teacher. Exactly.
Yes. I think it was also some question which I lost. About short courses. Uh, if I can travel to Montreux anytime, the best options. You could start, like I told you, if you have some, if you are not sure, of course, we could start with 1 or 2 first model. And once when you are sure, we could already registered you to the system. I think that the deadline of that, when we have to register the students like this, it would be the end of the first month from the beginning of the study. So I think 2 or 3 weeks, it's already fine to feel it, if it works or not. Of course, all other students which we have in the course, we will register from the first week of the course. And all other one, if we have some problem, some family problem, I understand totally now, it's fine. Probably somebody will start, after that they will do some break, and after that they will back. So we have all the students who come back to us. It's also very nice. For example, Victoria, she loved to come to Montreux, and we have also other students who come after that. So it's always nice to see the progress and to see that the students feel that we still can do them, and we still can to upgrade their level.
Yeah, exactly. And lots of things are possible because this is a private, independent, small school. It's very personal. So, you know, it should be your creative home as well. There was a question of the portfolio format. Well, a standard portfolio is, of course, physical portfolio that you take with you, but there are digital portfolios as well. And for this purpose, yes, a digital portfolio is what you need to put together. So you can put this together as any kind of presentation. It could be a web page if you're already good at making these kind of things. It could be a PowerPoint. It could be a document. You know, if you really want it to be a physical one, if you're old school, then you can make a physical one and you can send it or bring it to Natasha. But I think take the guidance that create a digital portfolio. That's the best approach. And just to show yourself, you know, portfolio is about you. You know, think of how you present yourself and what you think about, and you make this in a digital way. If you are able to animate, you can animate. If you can do films, you can do a film. Really, it's free. It's a free way of doing things.
And it's also interesting for them to see the progression, because why we also start with portfolio and why we ask, for example, the basic CV, because at the end of the first year, we will do the professional development unit. And after that, you will understand how you could write and create your CV correctly, and how you have to show your dossier, how you have to prepare your portfolio. So you will know everything, and you will have some basic your basic sketch to compare, and you will see the difference. It's really amazing. Sometimes I see then the students at the end of the course, we just we found our first sketch, our first portfolio. And
the development, when you see that in the portfolio is also about, as Natasha says, showing your development. So, you know, when you do look at your work a year later or a few months later, you can amaze yourself at how you've changed or how you've come. It's one of the really interesting things about developing in art and design, I think.
Yes, it's something magic, really magic. Then we have, when we can to see how the students will grow up through the year. It's really fantastic.
Yeah. And I know I have some photographs here of some student work, I think. Do you want me to put some of those up, Natasha? I can.
Yes, it would be great. I could comment them also.
I'll see. Oh no, I have to see where I do this here because I'm not used to this one. There. I have it disabled, screen sharing.
Sorry. Yes, I will do it.
You can enable for me.
Yeah.
Let me take, I do it one by one. So we'll start with this one, I think. So we can see, oh, what do you?
Yes, yes. Now this one I could comment it because it was I use it for our advertising. So,
Yeah,
for example, it was the work of one of our students, Lara Negra.
yeah,
So she create everything herself. So it was the project for Marc Jacob.
yeah.
So she created the accessory and even textile she created herself during the confination. So it was just only one outfit when she did during the confination, and at the same time she did also a lot of other outfit and a lot of our other portfolio. So the textile it was also create herself the pattern for textile
Mhm, mhm.
and the hat and bob and photo shooting which we did together at the beginning of the summer. It was really fantastic period. So it was her concept, the old textile, everything she created herself. The quality is really fantastic.
Yeah, okay. And I show maybe this one. It's confusing on the computer here because I cannot see what I'm presenting you. So,
Ah, okay, fantastic. It's the work of our Marie Fontaine. So
mhm,
she comes exactly for 3 months from France. So it's a girl, she's a girl from France. And for example, at the beginning of the year, she never sewing, she never do any kind of pattern making. She never work with Photoshop, Illustrator. She prefer just drawing part at the beginning, like a graphic designer. But during this year it was just fantastic. So the accessory she did herself during confination too, the samples with textile she created, the pattern for the samples of textile she created during our masterclass of textile printing there with our tutors from UK. uh, and it was the project for Women's There for Hugo Boss. And after that, she ordered the textiles to produce these textiles. And during confination, she did all outfit herself.
mhm,
So as remember, it was a girl who never saw it before. Then
mhm.
she started the school.
Fantastic.
It was the end of first year, just the first year.
Yeah, yeah.
This fantastic work, also very conceptual work, where our Chloe Graber, she prepared the accessory and also outfit. You couldn't see their all outfit. Probably later I will post the photo with all outfit.
Yeah.
But all details she created herself. It was the project for Julian MacDonald.
Yeah.
And it was the part like accessory and the top, which was transparent. So all work it was also done during the confination.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. I will stop my share there and return to you. Okay. So it's always interesting to see some of the work, I think, and my experience of the work and the output from students in Swiss Mode is it's a good level. So this is in my experience so far some very interesting creative work. People who are passionate, people who are learning a lot as well. There was a new question, somebody asking if about the shoes and are they made in a specific place or do you learn that too? I think, in terms of designing shoes, anybody can design shoes. You can research, you can understand, you can learn how to design a shoe to go with your outfit. Many designers do this. In terms of working in the industry to do the shoes, then you need to learn about shoe design, which is its own world. But funnily enough, interestingly, Natasha, I meant to say to you at some point, this is an interesting area we should look at.
Yes, I already planned this. The last year, we already planned two masterclass with shoes designers, but it was just canceled because of confination. But we have very fantastic, very good teachers for shoes design masterclass. We already planned it. It's also a particular area with a fashion marketing part for accessory design and shoes. We have a specialist who worked before for London, Dior, and high level brands. For example, this is our specialist from Paris, and it's still possible. Yes, exactly. We plan, like I told you, different masterclass during the year, and shoes, accessory, and jewelry design. It's some part which are very interesting part. Of course, it doesn't exist just the shoes design and bachelor in shoes design. It's after that it's too complicated to find a job. It's not correctly to do this type of course, like a full course, but it's always the part of our course: accessory design, shoes design, and jewelry design. And we have particular teachers for this, because in every collection, students, they could create, for example, some outfit and accessory together.
It's always possible. It's funny, in my background, before I went to St. Martin's in London, I started my own fashion business, you like, a kind of thing, and in Camden Lock Market in London. This is a long time ago. Camden Lock was very trendy then. It's a little different now. And one of the first things I did was I used to hand paint patterns onto some shoes, like wedding shoes, the white wedding shoes. So you could buy these in the store from a good brand in London. And I would hand paint them with acrylic in like a black and white check pattern, sort of. It was the punk time in London. So they were like punk styles and neon and everything. And I used to sell these in the market. And I also used to take commission. So somebody would come, they would see the shoes I have displayed of what I paint, and somebody would say, oh, I like this, but I really would like something that's more like David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, or something, or some Andy Warhol art or something. And then I would make the shoe for the next week for them to come and collect. It's a very funny thing. Huh?
Memory, yeah.
Memories. Long time ago. But the point why I say this is that, this is not shoe design, this is shoe decoration, but you can also do this, in your own collection development, in your own development of your own fashion. If you buy a pair of white sneakers, canvas sneakers from, I don't know, Primark or somewhere, you can take some acrylic paint, you can paint and design on top of it and make it match your outfit, and all these kind of things you can do with accessories, and get your head into how you do things in a shoe, for example. So quite interesting. And bags the same, and everything else.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Also some question which we can maybe do you see the questions of Kitak? Maybe this is
this was the one for shoes.
Yes, okay.
It's the one I just was reading. Yeah. Okay. And aesthetics and developing, does the portfolio need the specific vision already? I don't know. So the question is, with the portfolio, do you really need to show a kind of vision and aesthetic? So there are two sides to this. I don't think it's necessary to completely show a vision myself. The vision will either be evident by somebody who's looking at your portfolio. You may not actually see it, but I might see it if I look. Or the vision will develop over time. So, that's the important thing. The aesthetic is, you will have an aesthetic. This is your taste, your style, the way you appreciate design, the way you present some things. We have things like minimalism and maximalism. I'm a minimalist aesthetic, that's who I am, that's what I like. But I appreciate maximalism as well, and other, Rococo art and everything else. I appreciate everything. There isn't a right way or a wrong way. So in terms of an aesthetic with your portfolio, the only thing I would say you need to ensure is that your portfolio is telling your story. It's your perspective, what you think. And if you happen to be somebody who is completely chaotic as opposed to extremely organized, that's how it is. So you do it to show your passion and to show your feeling about everything. You know, it can be scrappy, it can be formal. It's really up to you. What you learn about in portfolio as you develop as a designer, and it takes a long time for people to develop this, is you learn to appreciate your own aesthetic and how to communicate your aesthetic. So, for example, when you put together communication material, portfolio is a communication material or a document in branding or whatever, you always consider the negative space or the white space as well. So you have to balance how you are telling your story and how your story is being perceived by the person who's looking at it. And this is the important thing in understanding portfolio. For coming into a program at Swiss Mode or going anywhere, if you're going to apply to anything with a portfolio, I think the portfolio just has to be honest and true and about you, whatever stage you are in at that point, really. So that's the key thing, is not to think I have to make the portfolio like this or I have to make it like that. It's about what you want it to be and the message you want us to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Face-to-face classes.
I think we've covered the questions so far.
Yes, I think actually it's really nice, and I think we answered to all questions. It was interesting questions.
I hope we did.
Okay, we have something more. Okay, I think it's fine. I think we already answered to a lot of things, and we are all hope that this year will bring some particular to our creativity, to our new vision of a course, and we really prepare a lot of interesting things. Even if COVID will stay there, for us we don't afraid this. We are ready, and as you know. A lot of very, very interesting things was created in the last century and in the century before during the confination period. So it just explore all creativity and all things which we have in interior, and probably for the artists, for designers, and because of course fashion designer, it's special art with textile and with fabric. It's mix between art and industrial design, and probably we will receive some particular portfolio, some particular dossier, and some special students. And please don't afraid to send to us this information. It's not because we will do some note to you, we will just have received the impression about you, only just this, and that's all. And after that we will see how we could guide you, how we could help you. For example, for somebody it would be more technical things, for some other one it would be more creative things. It only depends on this how we will manage the group, and which type of different masterclass or different lectures we will add, because we also adapt for the level of students. If we will see that the level is very high, we could give them the information which so up the level.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing. That's where you understand the personal touch for Swiss Mode.
Exactly. Oh, yes. There are also some question about Indian. I'm an Indian and fond of Indian wear. That is nice. It's very nice there. What should my favorite? Look, I love actually all this particular national style, because we had the students from Indonesia, from Chile, from Thailand, from Russia, from Ukraine, from the United States, different, and that makes us very interesting. And it's also particular part in Switzerland, because we are really welcome all nationality. We love this mix of nationality. We really happy when we have some new students from some there. First of all, we ask how it's happened. We try to understand the culture, the level, the tradition, and really very interesting. And probably you could create something interesting, which mix your culture with modern ideas, sorry. And also we had some experience with students from Tunisia and Morocco. Also, they have also particular type of kaftan. So the girls they create some interesting things also with national cultural wear.
Very interesting.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I think if everything is fine, if no more question, I think it was really interesting and very informative Zoom. And if all students will have other questions, we could anytime ask me, and we could message, we could text. We still have a time. I have to tell that from 30 September we have the first welcome week, yes, when we will start our live drawing classes. So that means that all students who are going to start their bachelor degree program, they have to contact to Swiss Mod. I think at the until the 10th of September. I think all this year we have to receive, we have to complete it, because it all takes a time. And for all short courses, also don't hesitate to contact me. Also follow us to our official page in Instagram. It's swissmod.montreux. So you could see all news about our masterclass and about our next unit. And welcome. I see they are really happy with the result.
Yeah, good. People are happy.
Right?
People are happy.
Yes. Thank you so much. And
Okay,
thank you, Sean. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.
I will. And you, I'm going to leave you now. Good luck, everybody, and I hope to see you in a class.
Yes. Hope to see you in the class too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.